93% of people cook chicken wrong. I'm sorry, you do. Well, today I'm going to show you how to cook chicken moist, juicy, tender, and nobody's going to get sick and nobody is going to eat cardboard. Y'all, let's cook some chicken. All right, to get things started, I gotta get you a cutting board. Oh yeah, old cutting board. And put me down a towel so the thing don't move around on me. Get a cutting board because you gotta do a little surgery on these chicken breasts. These are chicken breasts, and that's what probably people have problems with the most. Chicken thighs are a little bit more forgiving. I would say not really a little bit, but a lot more forgiving because there's just a lot of like intermuscular, fat and stuff like that in chicken thighs. I got some baggies that we'll use later, but here I got, these are just run-of-the-mill chicken breasts. Got from the old Walmart, all right? And there they are. Nothing nothing crazy, nothing, homegrown. Took my bag with it. And as you know, probably, most of the time these suckers have had some, these had some like Pamela Anderson treatments. I mean, these bad boys are monsters, let me tell you. That doesn't make a good chicken. I'm gonna show you some tips, tricks on how to make these. I'm gonna do these two big, look at these things right there. Good night, they're bigger than my fist. Sheesh. I'm gonna show you just some few tips, techniques that will make chicken delightful for you. So the first chicken breast, I wanna use this one right here. If you examine this, this is your breast, and there is a separation right there. And that is your tender, actually. Chicken tender, that's where your old tendies come from. And there might be some fat over here on the side, and I'll just lop it off. I'll fry that a lot of times. I'm gonna put it over here on the griddle. I'm gonna leave that for old Maggie dog later on. She's right here, she heard her name. What I like to do, this is one way. I'll show you two ways, like I said, of how to do chicken. I like to lop this tender off right there. Just I follow that seam. I'll show you that seam right there. I'll just follow my knife just right around there. And there's our tendy. Now, you can see right here, it's very thin, and then it just tapers up, and it gets about like that right there. This right here, if you cook this all the way done, it's gonna be dry, it's gonna be tasteless. So this is a way, I'll lop it off right where it starts to taper. As you can see, it starts moving up right there. And we'll just take it off. That's not a bad piece of chicken. Could have came down just a little bit more, but who's counting? All right, there's one piece, okay? Now you got this big old hunk of meat right here, all right? And I'll just take my, if you can see this, by the way, Jacob's back, y'all. Holy cow. He got a little, he did some good things in jail. They sent him home arrest. So he's here for the weekend. I'm keeping my eye on him. He might get over the dang fence right here in a minute. So they told me to watch out. He's got an ankle bracelet on too. So I take my knife. Now I'm doing this kind of so you can see. And I'm trying to keep it at a level, plane. And I'm just gonna take it. This is a boning knife from old buddy Brad over at Butcher Wizard. And I just made that two pieces, just like that. Now, that's gonna cook so evenly that it's not gonna be dry on one side or the other. So we got 3 pieces of chicken off of that. Well, actually 4 with the tendy. Now, if your tender is, kind of big, this one ain't too bad. It kind of flattens out just a little bit. That's gonna cook well also. So that's one way. What's another way, Hussey? I'm glad you asked. Sometimes I'll just leave, and this makes a big piece of chicken. Sometimes I'll lop the tender off. Sometimes I won't. What am I gonna do right now? I'm gonna lop it off because I don't want a big old honking piece of chicken. Lop that off. Now we have this piece right here. And wait a minute. You could do this 3 ways actually. We could go ahead, take you a plastic bag, just like this, and just stick this in there. Now, if you want to split it, split the chicken or split the bag and make it easier to flip, go right ahead. And then we take our big old hammer. Look at this big old sucker right here. Any old meat mallet will do. This is a Dow Strong hammer. I don't even know if this is available anymore, but at any rate, this thing's heavy. I mean, it's probably like 5 pounds. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. It's really heavy. But you're gonna see things bounce. The good thing what the bag does, it keeps everything, it'll even things out. Plus, you don't have chicken splat going everywhere. Nobody likes chicken splat, except for old Jeff. Don't you? Ain't that right, Jeff? Jeff likes the chicken splat. All right, ready? So you can just do this right here. And There you go. You can take that as flat as you want, but there you go. But what that results in is a pretty good old sized chicken, and now you can make it into two. Whoop. Just like that. And that's even. It's not tapered at all, and it's probably going to be very tender as well because of that meat beating. That sounded real bad. That was terrible. What is this called? Like flattening the chicken out. I don't know. Jeez Louise. Tenderizer, yes. That came out totally wrong. And I did not mean to, but there we have it. Tender, same thing. I just threw my bag away. But I'm just going to do it with my hand. That sounded weird too, but yeah. At any rate, this kind of come down just like that. So there you go. That's going to cook even. It's going to be tender. What do you want to do? I don't know. Make your mind up. Both ways makes great, perfect sense. All we got to do now, season it up, marinate it up, and put it onto the griddle. Let's go do that. So we have our chicken. It's time to season it up. You don't want a nicely cooked piece of chicken and it not taste good. So let's church it up a little bit. And I want to show you two ways, and I want to tell you about a third. So I'm giving you everything you need to really be a chicken pimp. Chicken pimp. Yeah, chicken pimp. Sure, why not? You could be a griddle pimp. You could be a chicken pimp. You could be whatever kind of pimp you want in life. All right, guys. I want to take this beaten chicken and I want to put it into a baggie. And this is just for really show and not so much. I don't know. I like to do this for at least an hour or so. I just like to take some cheap old dressing. This is just Italian dressing, Kraft. The Zesty's really, this is Zesty. I like the Zesty. If you don't like Zesty, don't do Zesty, all right? Just, if you don't like Zesty, don't do Zesty, all right? I don't stop there. I like to add a little bit more. And woohoo! Well, Hussey's chicken dust. Get some good groceries, y'all. Like to take some of that and just sprinkle in there. Now, take your baggie, makes clean up nice, makes mixing nice, and you just kind of move it around. Like I said, you can leave this for overnight. I would say I wouldn't go no more than really 24 hours. It's got some vinegar in it, and it starts breaking down the chicken. It starts getting weird after that. But an hour or so. I mean, we're going to cook this here in a minute, and it's still going to have some flavor. But what are we going to do with the rest of these chickens? We're just going to season them up. It might be a weeknight for you, and this is what you want to do. It's going to be great. Again, Hussey's chicken dust. I don't say this because it's mine, but it's good. It really is good. Good on chickens, good on vegetables. My wife puts it on salads. I don't really like a binder. If you want to put a little bit of a binder on, like some oil or something like that, go right ahead. I just kind of like going on straight. I feel like it just gets good flavor onto the meat without a binder. So you do you on that part. Let's pre-warm the griddle. I meant to do that earlier. Low heat. Don't have to worry about the mowing, guys. He came yesterday, thankfully. Let's finish this chicken. All right. I'll move that around. Make sure all your chicken is coated. And we are ready to go. Let that set a little bit. That salt kind of helps bring things open. Starts bringing some moisture out. And then that seasoning really starts kind of doing some good things to that chicken. So we're going to let our griddle pre-warm, and then we're going to go cook these groceries. All right, let's go. All right, guys, just some little housekeeping tips here. Griddle top, it's actually a little hotter than what I want, but it's actually not too bad. It's 360, 370. It's an IR gun. Also have IR thermometer and instant read all in one here. I need a battery in it. It just keeps kind of going on and off, but yeah. So there you go, 383 in that one spot. I don't know if you can see that, but a cool little reference. Griddle temperatures tells you where, what temperature your griddle needs to be for chicken, for beef, for steaks, that kind of thing. Super, super helpful, super useful, and it's a magnet. It sits right there. There's also a meat temperature. It tells you what the temperature you need to pull your chicken so that it's safe to eat and it's not over dry or overcooked. That means it's really dry. Whew, well, that was a tough one. But anyhow, there's also some free charts online as well. Have a QR code or whatever, go to my website. You can download those and have them for free. Laminate them, do what you will with them. But that's just a little gift from me to you. All right, let's cook these groceries. You ready, Jacob? Jacob's here, y'all. Jacob's here. Woo! All right, this is our marinated chicken. And I will typically not put any oil down onto the griddle. I put a little bit on after I cleaned it. But yeah, so we're looking for a nice sizzle. When you put that onto, you don't have to do this on a griddle. You can do it on a pan inside. You can do it on a grill. Don't really matter. The principle is the same, okay? So there we go. Make sure it's all flat and even onto the griddle surface. Now we have the ones that we cut. These were beaten and marinated. These are just cut and seasoned. Since I forgot the oil, I'm gonna take just a little bit of oil. This is sizzle actually. This no, frizzle, high heat cooking oil. It's a new thing they came out with. I normally do avocado oil. Couldn't find the one that I like. So this right here is really good as well. Now, we wait. We let it cook. Don't mess with it, all right? We're gonna come right back in about 2 to 3 minutes. Peace. All right, it hasn't been 2 to 3 minutes yet. I just want to check in here, all right? You're listening to it. Listening, it's not going, right? It's nice and subtle. That's what you want. If it goes, cut your burners down or off, okay? But you want just a nice, even heat. It'll give you a nice color, and ultimately it will cook through for you, and it will not be underdone. All right, we're around that 2 to 3 minute mark. This is our non-marinated right here. And just like with steaks, you remember the steak video, you know, how to cook steaks. We're just kind of move that around. That helps that color a little bit. We're just gonna flip it, but check that out. I mean, that's just, you know, it's not burnt. It's very colorful, and that'll make a great piece of chicken. Check that out. Forgot to move that around. Moving them around, this kind of helps all the uneven places on that piece of meat. Just get a little bit of that griddle love. There we go. Look at that. See that? See the difference between that and one I didn't? The moving around, it works. Same thing with our marinated pieces. Just gonna move that around. Give it a little bit of that griddle action or action. There we go. And flip her over. Now, I chopped that up to basically the marinade. Marinade can restrict the color. This right here was right onto the griddle. This right here had a little bit of a layer of protection. We're gonna let these go for another 2 to 3 minutes, and we're gonna keep on flipping. Right now, just so you know, just looking at temperatures, I'll take my IR thermometer. We're at 117 degrees, 118 actually, 123 at that spot. That one's got a little thicker on that end. We're looking at 108. I would say, you know, we're gonna do this a few times. There's 123. Again, we wanna take this to about 160 degrees is where I like to pull my chicken. 165 kills that salmonella instantly. 160 will kill it as well for a little shorter minute of time. All right, see you back in 3 minutes. All right, a great point Jacob just made. Apparently jail teaches things. How far do you go in when you're measuring temperature? Well, you know, you gotta kind of envision things of your chicken and how thick it is. And then this probe right here where it kind of tapers, I like to try to say, okay, maybe about halfway is about where you want to measure. Or you can kind of go in at an angle as well, or kind of come in at the side or right in the middle, and that's helpful too. I mean, we're on this piece of chicken, we're 135 degrees, which is pretty good. We're gonna go ahead and flip these again. Again, we're just, you know, your heat source is on the bottom. You want to flip it to the other side. Continue that. Oh, about forgot. Let's do this. Let's do it. Move her around. Look at that. Let's kind of see how that is. Watch, we're gonna move it. We'll move it around. Now watch this. Watch how brown this is now. Look at that. Y'all, next time you have somebody over, they'll be like, your chicken is the best, Gertrude. I don't know why Gertrude. Gertrude. Of all people. Could be Jenny, could be Gary, but Gertrude come out. There we go. All right, let's do this. I'm gonna tell you what, I will notice a difference from just my pigtail flipper. This is the one that we kind of beat out, tenderized. Very, very tender, very tender. Look at that color. Those sugars and stuff and that marinade is really coming out. And I wanna check temperature on these as well. Yeah, that's one. This chicken over here is really good. This that one's not quite. This piece right here is good actually. And that tender is almost done. So once it's done, what do? Well, glad you asked. Just gonna take it off. Just like that. I'm gonna put it over onto our cutting board. All right, we wanna let it just kind of set. Some other things you can do to add a little bit more flavor. Take some butter, put this in a pan, maybe some more chicken dust, and just let that just kind of set in that butter. Another way to keep chicken nice and moist. And gotta get Maggie's. All right, guys, there you have, woo, look at that juice. You see that juice right there? Did you catch that, Jacob? Listen, juicy chicken just don't happen haphazardly, okay? It's what we did before helps that juice. Let's try these groceries. What do you say? I'm gonna come in, I wanna give you a cross section. I mean, chicken's not gonna ooze out just juice, but I mean, it's juicy, okay? Hey, I can't help it. It's just what I do. I'm gonna give, this is the marinated one. And what I said earlier, same thing. Those fibers in there, that's what that tenderizing does. Kind of loosens those fibers up. It's gonna make it tender. Try this. You hear Maggie? Y'all hear her? Very tender, very flavorful, juicy. You can see how those strands just kind of come apart. Now, our other side, ones we didn't tenderize, we just cut, and it's perfectly fine, and they're gonna be great as well. Little cross section on this. I mean, look at that. It's glistening, not bad. I can tell the difference. Obviously, we didn't pound the thing, but it's good. Chicken dust, amazing, so good. It brings chicken to life. This is what it does. There you have it, guys. Appreciate you sticking around. I hope you can learn to master chicken. A few little simple tips and tricks along the way. The prepping of the chicken, cooking of the chicken, get you a thermometer, all that kind of good jazz. I appreciate you stopping by. Maggie is salivating. She wants some more chicken, and we're gonna give her some too. Why didn't I say post dust? You gotta post dust sometimes. And then, well, I talked about putting some butter in a pan and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes too, you slice, put you a little post dust of that chicken dust. Woohoo! Just like that right there. It just bumps it up a notch. Bumps it up a notch. That's right, Jeff. Bump your chicken up. Ooh, that flew out of my mouth. Jeff, he fixes dry chicken. Sometimes undercooked. He tries to send people to the hospital. That's right, Jeff. He's gonna make this chicken now. See y'all. Because this thing is so, Maggie, get out of there. Get. She's in the chicken bag. All right, well, let's go ahead since she's just begging. All right, you ready? We're gonna get yours. There we go. Yeah, you good? Good girl. What do you think about that chicken? It's juicy, it's flavorful, and very tender. That's what she said. All right, back to the programming.